Welcome back to CFA Nation. I thought it was my turn. Nick here.
Gabe, the Night Watchman.
You guys see that? That was reminiscent of our old days where he would jump in front of me before I say it. Now it's my turn to snake him. We are here for News Cast Part 2. And we've already talked about, if you haven't seen it yet, pause this video and go watch it. We already talked about Australia canceling the tour in South Africa. Because of that, Mr. Gabe and everyone else watching, how are you guys doing? Don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you're new to our channel. How are you doing? Because of that, because of them canceling, and because the Test Championship is oh so close, a few months away, that puts New Zealand's Test already, that squad, the white shirts and all, already at Lord's. They got their tickets punched for the Test Championship. They are already there because Australia has bowed out. Australia can still make it, believe it or not, to the ICC Test Championship. And we're going to talk about all that in a second. But we are here to talk about New Zealand qualifying for the inaugural Test Championship. New Zealand fans, big props. Awesome for you. Great job getting there. And it's just a matter of, are you going to see India, which are the heavy favorites right now to be there with you? Are you going to see England, or are you going to see Australia? Those right now are basically the options because it's oh so close. And Gabe, it all comes down, literally, India versus England. I'm going to get to all the numbers to you in a second. But Gabe, initial thoughts about New Zealand qualifying for that championship?
I'm not happy. I'm not happy, and let me tell you why. Kane Williamson.
Could you talk trash about Kane Williamson?
Well, first, okay, Kane Williamson made me eat my words, but that's fine. All right, that's fine. And let me tell you something. New Zealand, they were just in the ODI championship, right? One of the greatest finals with England, right? That unbelievable final. So listen, New Zealand fans, no disrespect, but you cannot tell me, look in New Zealand's Test record this year. Most of their games have been at home.
All right, so we did check it out. I'm not going to throw Gabe on the bus. I wasn't sure either. We just paused our video and came back. So this is the deal. New Zealand's played 11 matches since 2019 when they started this whole Test Championship season. And 9 of those matches were in New Zealand. And 2 of them were outside in Sri Lanka. Of those 2, they lost 1 to Sri Lanka. Right. Now, that was Sri Lanka 2019. We just saw Sri Lanka 2021 against England when England came in and England handled them pretty well. That was 2 years ago, so I'm not sure how different the squads are or whatever. But you have a great point. Here in America, the football, the NFL, right? American football is king. College football is not too far behind. And we have a team that wins it almost every year, Alabama. And the biggest complaint that I make as well is they schedule the cupcakes, the easy ones, because they already have to play 2 or 3 really tough matches every season in their conference.
Yeah.
Sometimes that conference is weak. And so sometimes those 2 or 3 matches aren't really that hard. And so they have their 8 or 9 cupcakes and then 2 or 3 matches that aren't really that difficult. They're in the championship every year is what I'm trying to say. And they win most of them and they lose. If New Zealand gets, this hookup, and maybe they're just geniuses, right? Nothing against New Zealand. I have nothing against New Zealand. I'm just talking about fairness, right? If they get judged out of 9 of 11 matches that were at home, and we all know the big advantage of home field advantage, and they only had to do 2 away, and they lost 1 of those 2? Really? I mean, Gabe's got a good point there, right?
Nick, listen to this.
My India went to Australia. They had to break the gauntlet for 33 years, the fortress. They won that so they could walk away 2-1 so they can put themselves at the number 1 spot. They had to go into Australia and do it, right? I mean, come on. I could be wrong. Maybe Sri Lanka was Australia 2 years ago. I don't think they were. They lost 1 of those matches. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is this. So far, right? 13 matches for India. 9-3 record. 9-3 record. Okay, New Zealand, 11 matches, 7-4 record. Australia, 14 matches, 8-4 record. So they played 3 more matches, only got 1 more, so fine. Put them ahead of them. England, 17 matches, 10-4 record. 17 matches, 10-4 record. So you tell me that England with a 10-4 record, so 3 more wins and had to play 6 more matches again. I hate this. It should have been, and I get it. This is specifically because of COVID. Everybody wasn't able to play all their games, all their schedules, and I understand that. But this has got to be one of the worst ways to decide it. One of the worst. What if, I'm just curious, what if a team, was there like a qualifier? You had to play 11 matches to even, because what if I decide, okay, I'm only going to schedule 5 matches, and if I win all 5 matches or all my games, I'm good to go. Why not schedule 1? I got 1,000 winning percentage. Just saying, you know what I mean, bro? And it's like, listen, I was wrong. Okay, they had India on there when they played India. They faced Sri Lanka away from home, by the way, and went 1-1. Right? They lost away from home, but bro, it's still one of those situations where when I'm looking at this, I'm like, it just, to me, it doesn't feel right. This is not the way a test championship should have ended up. You know what I mean? Especially for the inaugural one. If I'm England, I'm like, you know what? Why did we schedule so many matches? Even though, thank you, England, because when nobody else was playing, England was playing. You know what I'm saying? And gave us something to watch. But man, like the way I'm looking at the standings right now, and listen, I'm not making a argument for my West Indies. They're way at the bottom of the standings. They're at 8. You know what I'm saying? They're just above Bangladesh. Just saying. But can you not make an argument that England with 17 matches and 10 wins also deserves to be there? It's by percentage points, right? New Zealand got 420 and England has 412. New Zealand's 1.281 and England in 1.251. How about you play away from home? How about you play 17 matches opposed to your 6? Just saying.
Okay, let me tell you some stuff that's gonna make you scratch your head, because it's making me scratch my head. As you're talking so eloquently, I'm looking at the points. Okay, how do you get points in the standings? It's not just a win-loss record. You get points for every win and blah blah blah.
Right.
They don't take into account, from what I'm seeing, home versus away. All right. So if you can get these knuckleheads to all come to home, they're all going to come to home. Now, real quick, let me give New Zealand some love. They played India last year in New Zealand, and they beat them both times. Okay, give them some credit where credit's due. I hear New Zealand's really tough to play, but a lot of places are. They beat India the first match by 10 wickets. I mean, they only need 9 runs in the second innings to be able to chase and win. So let me just throw that out there, give New Zealand some love. This is not us. It sounds like we're hating on them. We don't love this system. We don't love the way it's set up. Let me get you a little more upset right now. Look at the points, okay? Tell me if you understand this, because I really don't. Would you think, before I tell you the points, would you think that it would be easier for the squad to play a 2-match series or a 5-match series?
A 2-match series. Come on.
Okay. Do you know? Now, again, I could be looking at this wrong, but this is black and white right in front of me. Technically, it's blue. It says in a 2-match series, you get 60 points for a win, okay? In a 5-match series, you get 24 points for a win. Okay? Just marinate on that. Yes, Scooby. 24 points for a win, okay? Again, maybe they're talking about a series win, but that still doesn't make any sense. You get more points for a tie than a draw, and I get that because ties are very, very rare. They barely ever happen.
Right.
You get points for a draw. You get no points for a defeat. So based on the points table, based on what New Zealand's done, they schedule a whole bunch of 2-point matches, series, geniuses, right? And based on that, they have the points that, guarantee them the spot in that final championship. Big props to them. Okay, I'm not going to say that the other squads weren't trying to play the game. I'm not going to say that New Zealand scheduled it just for this reason. But, I mean, as far as the schedule goes, let's not be our own worst enemy. You're going to give me 60 points for a win for a 2-match series. I'm going to eat up those 2-match series all day long. And I don't think it's going to be hard to schedule a 2-match series because other squads are going to want those big points too. Right. So, I mean, you bring the best you can. But this is the caveat if I'm New Zealand, okay? And again, I'm not saying shiesty or anything. But if I'm New Zealand, I'm going to say, let's convince them to come to Hamilton. Let's convince them to come home for that 2-game series. And, the chicken is in the pot, so to speak. I mean, we are good to go, my friend.
Bro, it's like last year with the baseball playoffs, right? Everybody was upset because all the games were played basically in 2 venues. I think it was like Texas and Arizona, right? Or was it Texas and San Diego? San Diego, right? It was Texas and San Diego. I can't remember. And people were upset about that. Oh, it takes away from home field advantage from the teams. And yeah, a team like the Yankees, who hit a lot of home runs and they got a lot of power that goes the other way, and left-handed power.
Oh, you're talking about the spring training venues, Florida and Arizona, right? That's where they were going to play originally. Is that what you're talking about?
Playoffs. In the baseball playoffs, they
had yeah.
Yep. Just in those 2 venues. So teams that build their team around their home venue, like the Yankees do it all the time. That's why we need to win the division so that we can and have the best record, so that we can short porch and right. So if we get 4 games at home, we're gonna outslug you, cousin. Even if your pitching is better, we're gonna. That's why the Yankees have won most of their championships, at least in the last 2 decades, whenever they're playing at home. But when they're in the rare occasion having to play in National League parks, they struggle because those National League parks are so spacious.
They had no problem in San Diego sweeping my boys in '98. Just saying,
but those ballparks are more spacious and they don't give up as many home runs. Is what I'm trying to say. We don't play small ball. Well, it's the same thing here. Teams build their teams. Australia is one of the few teams that can bowl anywhere. But England, they got themselves some really good fast bowlers. They got guys that can swing the balls. They don't got spinners. They're not. You know what? India has both actually as well, but they have subcontinent pitches, so they're gonna have spinners. Everybody builds their team to play at home. So if the majority of your games are at home, that's an advantage. Please tell me I'm wrong. And the ICC thinks it's okay to just no problem. Really?
The question is, why did the teams now? This is what I'm getting confused too. In college football, the teams have to agree to play each other. This is the crazy thing. In college football here in the States, you want to have that home game. So you actually pay money to the opposite side, usually a cupcake team. You pay them a whole lot of money to come play in your stadium because you know you're going to thrash them, but you pay them money for their troubles. I don't know if all these different cricket boards from each country has to agree to these matches, or if the ICC just says, nope, you're going here and nope, you're going there. I don't know. That's what I don't know. But man, New Zealand got some love. Now, Gabe, I'm dying to talk about this part of it too.
Let me ask you one question. Do you think New Zealand got some love because of the 2019 World Championship? They got screwed in. Honestly, they got screwed by that Ben Stokes dive. All right. What? I'm just saying.
Hey, it happens in Major League Baseball when the umpire misses a call. It's a makeup call, right?
Exactly.
I got you next time. I don't care where that pitch is at. It's a strike 3.
I'm just saying.
All right. So let's get to the nitty gritty. All right. This is what has to happen. You got India, England, Australia still in the running to see who's going to play New Zealand. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be played at Lord's in England. England wants to be there in their home stadium. But this is what has to happen. For India to get through, they have a lot of chances. They need to win the series against England in India, either 2-1, 2-0, 3-1, 3-0, or 4-0. Okay? Any of those options, and they are in. They go to the Test Championship against New Zealand. England still has a chance. As Lloyd Christmas said in Dumb and Dumber, you telling me there's a chance, all right? They still have a chance. They have to win the series 3-1, 3-0, or 4-0, all right? Australia, they have even less of a chance, but they can qualify for this final if the series between India and England is drawn, or if India win the series 1-0, or if England wins it 1-0, 2-1, or a 2-1 margin. All right. So think about that. I mean, Australia is just sitting at home now at this point, and they're just like, come on, a 1-0. Bring on the draws. All right. Let's do the draw dance or whatever we got. Do we have any people around here and that does like some draw dances or something? We know cricket's been around for a while. Get them in the office right now. But all these guys have a chance. You would say India's got the best chance because they're at home. Everybody and their brother who knows about India cricket is saying, please, we're not going to lose this series. So all they got to do is 2-0, 2-1, and they're on to that championship. Gabe, do you think India has a chance to mess this up?
You know what? Conventional wisdom says there's no way. Okay, it's like the people who would just went against Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. Okay, Drew Brees. Really? I'm worried about
people
Drew.
saying, yeah, that was a bad choice. I mean, come on.
I'm worried about Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. Really? It's Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers only won 1 Super Bowl. Just letting you people know that. All right.
He's only been to 2. Tom Brady been to 10 for crying out loud.
Tom Brady has his personalized locker, no matter what venue he goes to. That's how many places he's been to.
Did you hear they're going to change the name from the Super Bowl to the Tom Brady Bowl? You heard about that? He's got residency.
You know what I'm saying? So, listen, India basically does not lose series at home. So, I absolutely doubt that they lose this series at home. It would make it interesting, though, just to see, because England is playing for their life. Okay, England is playing for their cricketing life right now to try to get, like you said, it's at Lord's, it's at home. I root for Australia, right? That's my boys, but especially they just canceled their tour of South Africa. You know what? They just got beat down in Gabba. They need to go back, regroup. They're not gonna get in. They shouldn't get in. Not this way. Not this way. Not this way. Earn it. You know what I mean? But England, if I'm Joe Root, like, boys, this would be my speech right here. Boys, ICC Championships inaugural is at Lord's. It's in our house. Are we really gonna let another team come to 2 foreign teams come to our house and play? All we got to do is win. All we got to do is win. Our fate is in our hands. All we got to do is win. All right. You want to be watching them from the seats, or you want to be playing in that game? Bottom line. You know what I mean? Like it makes this series in India more compelling, don't you think?
Yes, but I don't want to see India lose, so I don't want to hear any of that nonsense. This is the thing. Like, if they have this championship like every few years, let's say it's always at Lord's, you could have England. No offense to them, but you could have England like 10 or 20 years from now, maybe still not being able to host at home because there's so many teams out there and squads that want to be there. And if that happens, it reminds me of one of my favorite lines from the Mighty Ducks, where their team sucks. District 5 before they're the Ducks. They're horrible. And Coach Bombay is just disgusted because he's used to winning. And these kids are laughing. And he's like, you think that's funny? You think losing is funny? And the kid says, not at first, but once you get the hang of it. I mean, is that going to be England in like 10 or 20 years when you ask that question, Joe Root, with this Walker saying, it's at home. Don't we want to be at home? Well,
just saying, you know what I mean? Like, I know that would be my rallying call to my team. Like, absolutely. Guys, really? We gonna let them come to our house? Because if they beat us, we let them. We're the only obstacle right now between India and a championship, and we're gonna let them come to our house. We're gonna let them come to our house and beat us to get there. Not gonna happen. Not on my watch. That's what I would say. Matter of fact, you know how the Red Sox had that stupid slogan? Gosh, I hate the Red Sox. But it was like, why not us? And Cowboy up. You know what I mean? That if I was Joe Root, if Joe Root does this, by the way, I want part of the proceeds, at least 5%. You can send it to CFA Nation. But my rallying call would be not on our watch right now. We're all walking out with white tees that says not on our watch. And that's it. Not on my watch. At my house, not going to happen.
The risk of doing that, though, is if it does happen on your watch, you can say goodbye to any watch endorsements in the future. I'll tell you that much. And, Rolex, they pay a handsome fee. Anyways, it's crazy. New Zealand, again, nothing but being honest right here. Congratulations. You have a serious squad, and you got serious bowlers. You got serious batsmen. You got a guy that Gabe still doesn't know about named Kane Williamson. This guy is a man amongst boys. And I'm excited to see whoever plays New Zealand, because I guarantee New Zealand, they're listening to all of these experts, especially these 2 experts right here. They're listening to all these people, and they're saying they don't think we can win away from our house. We're going to show them who we are come June or July. I think it's in June when the Test Championship is. Can't wait. Let us know, guys, what your thoughts are on this matter. Let us know how you see it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
New Zealand fans, if I seem salty, it's because of what you did to the West Indies. But that's 6 runs.
Control.